switching teams in the offseason. Which ones will be perfect matches?
The kind of move that the Baltimore Ravens can make in June that can sort of be like a finishing ingredient for a team that feels like it has the recipe to be a Super Bowl champion.
Well, today, we dive into 5 NFL players who will fail with their new teams in 2025, and 5 who will flourish. Fail, Stefon Diggs. Diggs was off to a pretty good start with his new team last year, but a torn ACL ended his season and tenure with the Houston Texans at 8 games. Before the injury, Diggs was on pace for a 7th straight 1,000-yard season. The New England Patriots were either just really desperate or honestly believe a 32-year-old Diggs coming off a serious injury is somehow still in his prime. Or heck, maybe both. Mike Vrabel's squad handed the ex-Buffalo Bills star a mammoth 3-year deal in free agency worth $63.5 million. To say that Diggs' tenure with the Patriots has already gotten off to a rocky start would be, a bit of an understatement. There were even reports out of Foxborough that Diggs was a potential cut candidate, but the Patriots have decided to actually move forward with the mercurial wideout. To us, disaster awaits in New England. Diggs is a known diva and a me-first player who forced his way out of Buffalo. Entering his age 32 season with a surgically repaired ACL is just far too much cause for concern. So add everything up, and it just feels like the Diggs era is bound to be a disaster in Foxborough. Succeed, Aaron Rodgers. The official announcement dragged on 2 months longer than needed, but hey, the 4-time MVP finally signed his 1-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I can't believe it! Wow! We understand the skepticism about the Aaron Rodgers-Steelers marriage because, he's coming off some pretty weak seasons and he's kind of old, but whatever. But come on, let's not act like the Steelers downgraded at quarterback here just because you might not like the future Hall of Famer. On a lousy New York Jets team last year, Rodgers still threw for 3,897 yards and 28 touchdowns. More passing yards than MVP Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, CJ Stroud, and Matt Stafford, by the way. And as many TD passes as the MVP winner and more than Patrick Mahomes. So riddle me this, if the Steelers could make the playoffs in 2023 with a Mitch Trubisky / Kenny Pickett / Mason Rudolph trio, and then a Justin Fields / Russell Wilson tandem in 2024, why the heck can't they improve with Rodgers? Pittsburgh has not had a good QB since Ben Roethlisberger's last healthy season in 2018. They haven't had a losing season in that period and have made the playoffs 4 times, which is truly a testament to Mike Tomlin's tremendous coaching. So now, Rodgers joins a future Hall of Famer at head coach, a team with a top 10 defense, and a rock-solid offensive line that just added 2 new weapons in superstar wideout DK Metcalf and Pro Bowl tight end Jonnu Smith. If Rodgers plays anything close to what we saw with the Jets last year, then the defense and ground game will take care of the rest. Fail, Russell Wilson. For a while there, it looked like Wilson had actually turned back the clock on the Steelers after returning from a calf injury. He won 6 of his first 7 starts with the black and gold and had Pittsburgh in contention for the AFC's top seed. Before everything just began to unravel in December. The Steelers closed out the regular season on a 4-game losing skid before getting crushed by the arch-rival Baltimore Ravens on wildcard weekend. The Steelers saw enough and let Wilson walk to free agency. The 10-time Pro Bowler signed a 1-year deal with the rebuilding New York Giants with a max value of $21 million. The G-Men also picked up another former Pro Bowler, Jameis Winston, in free agency and traded up to select Ole Miss QB Jackson Dart with the number 25 pick. Head coach Brian Daboll has stressed that Wilson is the starting QB. But, man, we're awfully curious to see exactly how long that'll last. Hello? Wilson hardly did anything on a well-coached and talented Steelers team. We haven't seen peak Wilson since, 2021. And now he's joining an NFC bottom feeder that has exceeded 6 wins once since 2021? Yeah, 0 chance. Succeed? Jair Alexander. So, after his release from the Green Bay Packers, the All-Pro corner was quickly scooped up by the Ravens on a 1-year deal worth up to only $6 million. The Packers released Alexander because of his hefty salary and long injury history. But when Alexander is on the field, keyword when, the former 2018 first-round pick is a borderline top 5 cornerback. Alexander has recorded a coverage grade of 73.0 or better at Pro Football Focus in each of his 7 NFL seasons. Though he missed most of 2024, Alexander still had a 75.2 PFF grade that ranked 25th among corners. corners. Now he joins the league's best secondary, headlined by All-Pros Kyle Hamilton and Marlon Humphrey, along with budding star Nate Wiggins and first-round pick Malachi Starks. Alexander has never had that much talent around him in Green Bay's secondary, folks. The sky is the limit here. If healthy, expect Alexander to return to his All-Pro form and set himself up for a nicer payday in 2026. Fail? Dan Moore. The biggest what-in-the-world free agent signing of 2025 was unquestionably Dan Moore going to the Tennessee Titans. Despite 4 middling seasons with the Pittsburgh Steelers, he somehow got the 4th biggest deal in 2025 free agency, a 4-year pact worth $82 million. Moore had a lackluster season at best with the Steelers in 2024. He garnered a PFF grade of 67.2, ranking 46th among offensive tackles. He committed 5 penalties and allowed 12 sacks on the year per PFF. So what in the world has the Titans convinced that he's deserving of superstar money? And who in the world were they in a bidding war with? What made them drive up the price to $82 million? I don't know what they're thinking, but good luck with that. Succeed? Milton Williams. While we weren't super thrilled with the Stephon Diggs contract, we can totally get behind the Patriots' 4-year, $104 million investment in Milton Williams. Now, it's pretty easy to assume that the Patriots got a little too excited about Williams' epic performance in Super Bowl 59, where he logged 2 sacks, a forced fumble, and recovery in the dismantling of Patrick Mahomes' Kansas City Chiefs. But truth is, Williams was one of football's most underappreciated players heading up to the big game. In 4 years with the Philadelphia Eagles, Williams was primarily used as a rotational player, not a starter. He never played more than 48% of the club's defensive snaps in a season. But get this, he had PFF grades of 89.8 and 70.4 in 2022 and 2023 respectively. Don't worry about his low sack totals either. His 2024 90.4 pass rushing grade at PFF was second among all interior defensive linemen. Now he's a starter on a revamped Patriots defense that added Carlton Davis, Harold Landry, and Robert Spillane. As we saw in Tennessee, Coach Vrabel has a bit of a knack for maximizing the potential of his pass rushers. Now, it is a lot of money, sure, but man, we expect Williams to be well worth every penny out in Foxborough. Fail? Miles Sanders. The Dallas Cowboys surprisingly let Rico Dowdle walk despite rushing for over 1,000 yards last season. But instead of chasing a big fish, the Cowboys signed Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders to compete for the RB1 job, with rookie Jaden Blue and 23-year-old Deuce Vaughn rounding up the depth chart. But in all honesty, it would be a stunner if Williams wasn't the starting RB this season. Sanders, meanwhile, has a lot more mileage on his body and had a forgettable 2-year stint with the Carolina Panthers. Sanders averaged a woeful 3.5 yards per carry in 2 seasons there, with as many fumbles as rushing touchdowns at 3 apiece. Now we're supposed to believe that Sanders will turn back the clock in Dallas? Nah, zero chance. This team just lost its best defensive lineman Zach Martin to retirement. Rookie Tyler Booker and sophomore Tyler Guyton, coming off a forgettable rookie year, will be tasked with helping fill Martin's void. Look, just consider all the factors, and Sanders' attempt at a career revival in Dallas is bound to fail. Succeed? Geno Smith. Smith turned down an extension from the Seahawks and was traded to the Las Vegas Raiders in exchange for a 3rd-round pick that was used on Alabama QB Jalen Milroe. Seattle then signed Sam Darnold to a 3-year deal to replace Smith, who did an admirable job succeeding Russell Wilson in Emerald City. We're not saying the Raiders will emerge as title contenders in 2025, but Smith is certainly well-suited to continue his Pro Bowl production in Sin City. Smith will be joining a Raiders offense led by can't-miss rookie running back Ashton Jeanty, star tight end Brock Bowers, coming off a record-setting rookie year, and Jacoby Myers. Plus, familiarity in Pete Carroll's offense doesn't hurt one bit. Smith never had a tight end as talented as Bowers in Seattle, nor a running back with Jeanty's explosive game-changing abilities. The Raiders will find it tough to compete for a playoff spot in the difficult AFC West, but Smith is still in a good spot to post career numbers and assert himself as the guy in Vegas. Fail? Cooper Kupp. Unable to find a taker for the Super Bowl 56 MVP in the trade market, the Los Angeles Rams made the tough sentimental choice of releasing the longtime fan favorite in a cap-saving move. As much as it had to hurt from an emotional perspective, it was the only logical option. Kupp is entering his age 32 season and has missed 18 games over the last 3 years. After releasing another longtime fan favorite and wide receiver of his own in Tyler Lockett, the Seattle Seahawks brought Kupp home and signed him to a lucrative 3-year deal in free agency worth $45 million. So, Kupp has not been able to stay healthy and lost his number 1 receiver role to Puka Nacua in Los Angeles. Now we're supposed to believe that at the age of 32, that he'll somehow stay healthy and return to All-Pro status with Sam Darnold throwing him the football instead of Matthew Stafford. Yeah, I don't know about you, but we're not buying it. Succeed? Davante Adams. After his release from the New York Jets, the All-Pro wideout signed a 2-year deal with the Los Angeles Rams worth $44 million. Truth be told, we don't think there was a much better match made in 2025 free agency. Now Adams joins one of the league's best offensive units, captained by head coach Sean McVay and veteran signal caller Matthew Stafford. Throw in Kyron Williams and rising superstar Puka Nacua, and there's everything to like about the Adams-Rams connection. But hey, which other NFL players will fail with their new teams, and which ones do you think will shine? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.